Screen on everyone's screen?
Yeah.
Magical. Okay, we're gonna start over from the top here. Okay, today we're gonna be talking about the pumpkin plan. This is a concept that comes from a great book called The Pumpkin Plan by Mike Michalowicz. And the concept is we want to grow our business on the shoulders of our strongest clients. Once we get to a point that we know who our ideal client is, we want to try to replicate them. And every business, and especially in the service-based industry, should have an ideal number you're shooting for that would be your perfect day number. For many businesses, and there's a number called Dunbar's number, that's about 150 people. You can have pretty good, solid relationships with about 150 people in your business and still know those people. So we want to understand who are our seed clients, our pumpkin plan clients, and how do we get to 150 of them? Typically, when we start this exercise, we can find about 5 to 15 of these type of clients in our business already. And we want to then 10x that number and try to build on the backs of those type of people. This concept comes from, as you can understand, that when a giant pumpkin farmer knows that they're going to replant from their strongest vine each year, we want to get to the point that we cut everything else loose. At some point in most of our businesses, and I'd love for you to drop a number one in this, if this ever happened to you, you're going to find what we call a weed client. Has anyone ever had someone that, I know we all love all of our clients, heavy wink, but from time to time, somebody sneaks in that starts to frustrate you after time. Drop the number one if you've ever had a frustrating client in the chat. Oh yeah. Okay. Everyone's had one. It usually happens. And it's not ill will. It's not usually bad intention. It's just that things change over time. So even if you've learned this concept and done it once in the past, we should be doing this concept at least once a year, probably twice a year, because our business is changing. It's not that even just our business is changing. We as entrepreneurs and leaders are changing. We are all different today than we were 2 years ago. And I know we're all drastically different than we were 6 or 7 years ago in the pre-COVID era. So what was the last time we really looked at our business and said, are we aligning with our top level clients and really serving their needs and what they call success? Most of us at some point, unfortunately, fall into some type of scarcity mindset. And when we fall into some type of scarcity mindset, we start to try to say yes to everybody. I just need a little bit more money. I just need more people in my business. So we start to just cast a wider net and we lose the meaning, the reason why we started this business. And it's when we start to try to accept too many people that these weed clients tend to sneak in. And really, if you draw a diagram or a little line back to when these people started, there was probably some micro red flags that we chose to ignore at some point. They maybe asked for a discount early on. Maybe they changed their payment type 2 or 3 times in the first few months we worked. Maybe they paused early on, or they complained about a workout, or they complained that they didn't have the exact barbell for their needs if you're a gym owner, or they didn't have the exact seat in your business. Weed clients tend to show themselves, but we choose to ignore them often in early days because we start to say yes to everyone. We don't want to chase every lead. We don't want to build programs for clients who drain us. Most of us started our business because we wanted to create a legacy, a purpose, and we were really excited about it. And 2, 3, 4 years in, we're looking back and saying, ugh, there's Peter again. God, I wish I wasn't coaching class, but Peter was in class today, or whatever it might be. So think about that, and let's start to understand. The pumpkin flips the concept. We want to build on the best clients, build your entire business trying to clone the type of people that bring you joy and excitement. I love for you guys, and if you're in this live right now, I already dropped into chat today. I dropped some slides for today's show, and I also dropped the workbook for today. You can open that up, and if you're watching this and record, look below here in the school group, and you'll see both of those accessible to you as well. But I'd like to do a little bit of a work along, and if you don't have these numbers or these type of people in front of you right now, definitely pause the recording or come back to it later. And I want you to really write this out. You should have a list of 5 to 10 of your favorite clients and 5 to 10 of your highest paying clients. Now, if you only offer one ticket type or one sales type, then your highest paying clients might be someone that's also buying extra cost of goods in your business. They're buying the snacks, they're buying the food, they're buying shirts. They pay for their family or their kids or their spouse to come along with them. So the highest paying client ideally might be someone that's paying for more sessions or paying more frequently, but they can be also buying a bunch of the auxiliary things that are happening in and around your business. The people who bring your joy, these are the ones you see on the schedule and you feel a little perked up. You know there's going to be some good banter going on. You're going to be, oh, I can't wait to see client Chris in class today. They're always come in with a good mood and always have a good story or two to tell. Or they're going to show up to your service-based business and be really excited, and you're going to be excited to see them when you see them on the schedule. Then you want to cross-reference these people. We want to be able to circle names that appear on both sides. It might be almost everybody. It might be very few. But once we get that dialed in, these are the seed clients. So go ahead and take a minute. Let's get that started right now, and we'll come back to that. Next slide. Once again, if you're watching this in recording, go ahead and pause the video and get this list together to help you move on to the next slide. In the next slide, we're going to talk about what to do with these exact clients. I want you to actually sit down and take these people out to coffee. Now, it doesn't have to be literal coffee. There's a good, better, best in this situation. Ideally, I truly do want you to take these people out away from your source of business. I would like you to meet with them in an equal setting where you can hopefully kind of peel back their wall and just have a good, genuine conversation with them. We're going to ask some key questions in that conversation. If taking somebody out to a cup of tea or a cup of coffee just isn't in your schedule and is just not going to align, that's okay. That is my best scenario that we can set up. You can ask this person to come before or after their set scheduled time and do this in your place of business. I'm totally okay with doing that, but realize that it's more powerful if we can get them out of there. If they are coming before or after their set scheduled time, try to offer them a drink. Maybe you bring them a cup of coffee. Maybe you have some extra drinks in your place of business that you could offer them, even if it's as simple as a cup of water, just to sit down in a more relaxed setting and ask these key questions that we're going to talk about in a minute. And then finally, if it's not happening organically or you just can't set up the time, you could do this over a phone or a Zoom type of call. I'm okay with that, but just realize that that's the third best scenario in the situation. From there, we want to ask these 4 key questions. Each of these questions has an outcome that gets generated from the question. It's written on the slide. This is a busy slide, so we're going to go over this together. The first thing you're going to do is ask them, what do you love most about working with our business? What do you love most about working with me? You're going to see too in a slide or two, I want you guys to think about what you think their answer is going to be, because oftentimes we are usually only 50 or 60% correct. People will tell you way more than we project or perceive when you actually ask that question. And this becomes your internal marketing department. If you've been through some of the marketing material, I talk about the marketing flywheel. I talk about the idea of a marketing hub and spoke as having one key concept and talking about it more. The question to this answer, what do you like, or the answer to this question, excuse me, what do you like most about working with us, becomes an entire piece of marketing that you can build on. If you're in the fitness-based industry, someone might say, I really love the coaches. I always love the way Coach X shows up in the morning. They always have a little bit of spunk to them. Or I really enjoy that the programming is really scalable for me. Or if you're a one-on-one business, they might say, I just love the way that you know exactly what I need when I'm having good days or bad days. These are things that you should then be projecting onto social media, onto your newsletter. Literally, if someone says, I love the coaches and what they do because they always know when I'm injured or what to do for me, great. You should then make an entire newsletter. One of the things this is an example. One of the things I'm most proud about owning my business is that my staff knows exactly what's going on in our members' lives. We strive to be someone that actually cares about you and knows if you just had a new baby or if you're coming off an injury or if you're just hitting PRs right now, and tell the world that you guys are really good at this type of stuff. We hide behind some of our best traits because we start to assume that everybody just knows that, or we forget about it over time. So this one particular question, what do you love about working with us in general, becomes your marketing department. You can use their exact words for content, for emails, even in sales conversations. You could say something like, I was talking to my member Karen the other day, and she was just talking about how she can do stuff now that she's been here for 5 years that she couldn't do 5 years ago. And even after an injury, we still have a plan for her. And tell people that in your sales conversations, because these are real words coming out of your client's mouth. The next question to ask is, what frustrates you most about our industry in general? Maybe if you're a hairstylist, people say, it's always hard to book appointments, or I never get the same consistent cut twice when I go to different places, or I've been trying to get my hair color for a woman for a long time and they never seem to get the color exactly right. Wonderful. How can you guarantee that result for your client? Again, I come from that CrossFit background. So if someone was to say, it always frustrates me when I go into a big gym and I don't know what equipment to use. What a light bulb moment for me to say, wow, if someone's saying they're still confused about what to do in a big gym, I can spin that and say, one of the best things about my business is when people walk in, I give them the best hour of their day. They don't have to think about anything else because we tell them exactly what to do. They have no guesswork on what to do on the equipment because we are going to place the equipment right in their hands exactly as it needs to be. So we could take this, what frustrates you about the industry in general, and spin it into SOPs, operating manuals. You can make yourself positioned correctly in the competitive marketing place. And you also very much know what to never do. A true story from my example, we asked this question at one point and someone was like, oh, it always frustrates me because whenever I go into the showers, I never knew if they were going to be too busy or if they were available in some Globo gym. And so when we had the chance to repurpose our business and move, we made sure we added an extra shower. I mean, not everyone could do that, but those are a really important thing because we heard those answers over and over. And it was really important to us. I've also heard in the past, people don't like it when the equipment's dirty or when the bathrooms are dirty. So we made sure we hired a cleaning crew and made sure we had one of the cleanest spaces we could provide. A lot of things to think about when people say what frustrates them. The third question to ask is, what stress do you have outside of what we already help you? This is a much more loaded question because it can become your product roadmap. Many people in certain service industries might have kids. So their stress is, I have to run right out of this place and go pick up my kids. I can never figure out what to do with my kids when I come to use your service. If your space and time allows, maybe you can offer childcare. Maybe you offer classes where the parents get to work out with the kids. Maybe you offer a kids class at the same parallel with the parents' class. What are some of the things you could do to meet the needs? Maybe your client says, oh, if you're in more of like a ticket sales business, oh, I don't like it because I can only afford to come here once a month, but I would love to come more often. Is there a package we can put together for that person? What are the things that frustrate them outside of their normal business so they can come back more often? You meet the real unmet needs that become your next service or maybe next revenue stream, or maybe you know someone that already does that service and you can now connect the dots and make that and solve that person's issues or problems. One of the taglines of our gym that we really pushed hard for is we wanted to be the last gym anyone ever needed to join. And it was something I told people, if we did this right, we would be the last gym you ever need to join, because we offered yoga, we offered CrossFit, we offered personal training, we had a running program, we had a kids program, we offered a longevity program. Now, this is after a decade of what we did. But if someone was coming to CrossFit for a long time and got banged up, great, let's go do some yoga for a while. Maybe they got bored with yoga or don't like it. Great, let's go do some personal training for a while. Maybe that wasn't working. We had a lighter version of a fitness class called boot camp. We could keep this person in our customer life cycle because we were truly trying to solve all of their needs And it was our goal, it was our mission to be the last gym anyone ever needed to join. And the final question is, who else in your life could benefit from what you've experienced? You're in an intimate setting. These people are answering your questions. They're going to be talking a lot more than you think. This is a great time to ask for a referral without sounding like you're asking for a referral. Who else in your life would benefit from what you've experienced? Or a similar way flipped is, who else in your life is still supporting you on your fitness journey? And then you can say, do you think they'd want to experience it the way you have? This is a direct way to ask for a referral, but you also they might say, oh, my family members would love to come. And you can say, great, I'd love to throw you a family workout, or maybe some coworkers. Great, what can we do for your office, your coworkers? So this is much deeper than just a softball question. There's a lot more we're trying to do with that particular. Each of these unlocks a different piece of what we're trying to accomplish in your business. I've already talked about this in brief, but I'm just going to re-mention it. What do you love about us? This is going to be social media, sales content, a lot of stuff that you should be recording and writing down, because people are literally telling you what they love. It's a nice pat on your back. What frustrates you tells you, wow, I better make sure I have an SOP to avoid doing something that frustrates them. Again, just a simple one is always the bathrooms. If it frustrates me when I go into a dirty bathroom, great. We better make sure we have the cleanest bathrooms and know exactly what our bathroom checklist looks like. And it's also about marketing position. You could also use this as part of your social media to say, we don't do this. You don't come into my business on January 1st and feel overwhelmed and confused and because it's so busy. You don't show up to our comedy club and not know where to sit because we have ushers and concierges as soon as you walk in. Whatever it is that's positioning you in the marketplace, you can use that also on your social media. That stress outside of work becomes new services and programs. And who else could benefit literally starts to build that referral culture that we talk about so often in these type of calls. I do want you guys to really think about using their exact words. Don't mince too much here. You can use ChatGPT or AI and say, my client Karen said this, and this is what I know about her as well. Can you help me write a really nice post about her? Sure, I'm okay with going a little bit beyond, but make sure you really write down what they're saying and tell them you're writing it down. Make sure that you're also always thinking about what can I do in that frustrating industry to make sure if I've written that down as well and understand, do I really have an SOP for that? Am I really positioning myself correctly in that? Do not, this is a massive one, do not take this idea of what's stress outside the gym and try to create too much. I know I've talked about a lot of really cool examples around kids and nutrition and different things today, but if you're not ready to offer more, do not try to offer more. That third question can become a shiny object. It can become a squirrel moment where you're trying to chase something down that you're not ready for. But definitely write it down and think about where that positions in your future. One thing I already said a few minutes ago is maybe that's as simple as connecting with somebody else in your community. Someone might need nutrition help. Maybe you know a local nutrition coach. That's okay from time to time. We had a great myofascial release therapist that we were really close to. I referred her a lot of work because if she kept someone healthy, people would come back into my gym. And I was great with that. I didn't make a dime for her, but people stayed in my gym longer because she helped them stay healthy. So I could help them with stress outside without me always needing to raise my hand and saying, I'm going to solve it. I brought this up a few minutes ago as well. I want you guys, as you go to do this exercise, to really write down a little bit of a prediction for each person. This is a fun game to play because we all think we know what our clients want. We think we know what our clients are going to say. But as I said to start the whole conversation today, who we are today is different than where we were 2 years ago or 6 or 7 years ago. And if we're saying this is who we are, then we also have to understand that our clients' lives have changed over the last 2 years. Our clients' lives have changed over the last 6 or 7 years. So we can't over predict what they're going to say, but I do want you to try to predict what they're going to say. I'm very confident you're going to be pleasantly surprised with some of the answers are going to differ or go a lot deeper than what your prediction might be. This is not a one-time exercise. You really should be doing this at least once a year, even if it ends up sitting down with the same people. It was also a goal of mine in my business for my seed clients to change at least once a year. If I had 10 seed clients, I wanted at least 3 to 5 of them to change. So how do I do that? I make sure that I'm trying to solve the people's problems outside of my seed clients, get more people doing personal training, get more people to pay me more by doing our auxiliary services, and get new clients to bring in other people that bring me joy. So hopefully, because I'm evolving, the business is evolving, my seed client list, and just for a percentage sake, if I have 10 people on it, I was aiming for 3 to 5 people on that seed client list to change every year or so that this can be a continuing exercise that we do. This will help us understand our new services, our new hire, our new promotions, our new programs, but we have to make sure it also answers these questions. If I offer a new service, is it going to serve my pumpkin clients? At the time of this recording, High Rocks is really big around the world. Well, if my highest paying clients are already personal training clients and they're seeing great results, and I'm niched in on a little bit of a higher paying client, should I offer a High Rocks class, or does that become a distraction? Or do I maybe just offer some running and some more cardio stuff to my current clients so I don't have to offer a whole new class? That's just an example. So don't get stuck chasing something new if it doesn't serve your current seed clients. If you're doing a new promotion, be careful. And this is something we talk about. We don't want to over discount promotions. I don't want to lower my commitment if my seed clients are already used to a higher value payment and they're people I look up to and they're in a certain demographic. Well, I don't want to do some type of promotion around a holiday or at the end of the year just because I think it's a good idea if it's not going to serve my seed clients or help me build more seed clients. When I hired new staff, it was really important for us to tell them, these are our most cherished clients. We want more people like this. This is what our gym is trying to build off of. Between our values and our seed clients, we really dove in and made sure every new hire in their first 30 to 60 days understood this concept. We would give them a copy of this book or ask them to listen to it on audio because we really wanted people to understand that this is what we were trying to build the pillar of our business on. So these are all different parts that you have to remember. The seed clients are not just for you and I to talk about today on this call, but your team needs to know what the reason is you're doing these type of things. That leaves us with our 3 action items today. I want you to really build both of these lists. Don't just frivolously do this. I want you to sit down and really build those lists. Circle the names and literally schedule coffee with these people. If you haven't done this exercise in at least 6 months, this is the month I want you to do it because we're going to tighten up who you're serving. We need to tighten up your social media. We need to tighten up your niching of what you're doing. Ask these 4 questions. Don't overthink it and let the conversation flow. And make sure you do the pre-work. Write down those predictions so you have a little bit of thought what these people might say because you're going to be surprised. There's going to be a gap between what you think and what they actually say. And I don't want you just to assume things. I want you to really hear what people are saying because this is going to propel your business into the next 3 to 6 months and beyond. Let's build on our biggest clients. Let's try to build towards that 150 Dunbar number of getting to the people that we know we can serve because these are the type of people that already bring us the most joy.